Hello traveler, and welcome to yet another one of these reviews for the replica swords in World of Warcraft. Today I have with me the one and only, yet again, but this is my favorite sword from World of Warcraft. This is the Royal Guard sword. Get ready, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so let me take a seat because we have some lore to discuss, and actually there is not that much about this sword. This time there is only one page that I have right here that I've written down, and because this sword, exactly this sword, is not that rich in lore. This is the sword that Anduin Lothar handles or wields sometimes in the Warcraft film. He uses this interchangeably with the Quel'Tharam, which lore-wise is the right sword that Anduin Lothar handles, which is this one. And you've maybe, if you're a fan, then you have seen this before in the Warcraft movie, maybe also in the game. So I'll make a different review of this sword. We're not going to go into detail about this, but this is quite awesome. And at the same time, not the most comfortable sword that I've ever had, held in my hand. I have written one fact here on my piece of paper, and that's because this should not be confused with the great royal sword that Anduin Lothar handles or wields in the lore of World of Warcraft or Warcraft. Because Anduin Lothar uses the Quel'Tharam as his main sword, but he also uses the great royal sword. That's the name of it. Now in the game, it resembles a lot the sword called Ash Candy, the great sword of the Brotherhood, and it also has the letters engraved on it. The great sword of the Brotherhood has AL written on it. So probably from the Warcraft lore, they intended that would be the great sword of the great royal sword. But it is not this. This one in the movie is the sword that the royal guards have, and it's a part of the what is it called? The equipment that the soldiers have in the Warcraft movie, and that is basically where it stops. The great royal sword, or the Ash Candy, actually has an awesome lore, but I will not go into detail with that. If I ever buy it, then I will I will go into detail about the lore of that sword. And let me know in the comments below if you want me to get that, but I haven't seen it for sale as a normal replica, made of steel and everything. So that would be it about the lore for now. Unfortunately, I have no more to say about this lore-wise, but fortunately, I have the time to go in and look at this sword and give you a full review of how this handles and feels. Let's go. Okay, so firstly, let's look at the length of it, the width, the weight, and, the handle itself. From the very tip here and all the way to the end of the pommel, we have 118 centimeters. 118 centimeters. It says 46 inches, almost 47 inches here on my ruler, but I have no connection with inches whatsoever. So 118 centimeters for you right there. In length. In width, I'll just check this one here. We have 22 centimeters. It's 22 centimeters in width. And the handle, this way, we're looking at 3.5 centimeters, which is quite standard for several of these swords. The handle for the Shadowmourne also is 3.5 and extremely nice to hold. But on this other axis, it's also 35 millimeters. So that's okay, 35 millimeters. Good. Size. Let's look at the weight of this. I'll bring my trusty scale. Let's look at the weight of this. I do trust that this is less than 5 kilos, so I'll use my kitchen scale over here. That, of course, I measure my rice and chicken. And you are welcome to do the same. Because if you don't measure your rice and chicken, you might not get all the gains you need to handle these swords, even if you have the money to buy them. 4,300 grams for this, so 4.3 kilos. Not necessarily a light sword. 4.3 kilos, it's something. Now that we measured it, we know the weight, let's look at some of the more intricate details with this. And I'll just give it to you straight. This is my favorite sword, just because of the sheer details and the beauty of this sword. I think this, and having the lion head right now, I'll try to dodge my head, and so you can see this. The details on this are amazing. It's on both sides that you have the lion with all of its fur there, and the details are really good. Maybe start from the end over here. Quite a lot of details and a bit weathered. I'll do some B-roll on this so you can see it better. So details over here at the end. The handle itself is sort of a rubber that makes this very comfortable to hold. So the rubber is nice and textured with all of the small dots, and it kind of looks like it's wound around the normal handle that's inside of this. And then there are some diamonds, a blue diamond right here in the middle of everything, with some runes, some very small runes carved down here just before the lion head starts. The guard looks really good, and it's also very detailed. A tiny bit weathered, but the metal looks clean. So this hasn't been battered in war just yet. As you move down or up the blade, then you begin seeing these motifs here that, there's a carving along the entire blade to reduce the weight of the blade. But let's not start talking about how practical these weapons from World of Warcraft are. I've seen some other YouTube channels doing these. Is it realistic or not to fight with swords from World of Warcraft? And clearly not. They just look awesome, and that's also why I have them. But you have the runes all the way down here to almost the tip here, and also some some more etchings on it. I think these look amazing. It just makes for a more interesting blade than a simple, clean blade there without any sort of details. The balancing is kind of like normal, as you would expect with World of Warcraft replicas. It's top heavy because of this part here. If you were to balance it out with a heavy load on this other end, then the sword would become maybe like 7 or 8 kilos, and you wouldn't be able to hold it with one hand. So it is top heavy. So that's also why I'm holding it as close to the guard as possible. But it is meant to be a two-hand sword, and you can very comfortably hold this with two hands. Not a problem there. Good. We've looked at it. Let's talk about how this feels. And this feels amazing to play with, to wield and to handle. And although it's a two-hand sword, if Anduin Lothar in the Warcraft movie one-hands this, then I might as well one-hand this, right? So it feels really good. This is one of my favorite swords to hold. I think the very first place in wielding it goes to the footman sword, which is right here, and I hope I can put it back, because this is a very light sword, this, and I'll present this. I'll make a review of this together with the shield for the Alliance Knight. But this is definitely my favorite because it's just so light. It's extremely light. I'll put it back here. But I love this. This feels amazing in your hands to just play around with. You cannot whirlwind with this as well as you do the, what is it called? The Shadowmourne. The Shadowmourne is amazing for whirlwinding. This doesn't feel that good to whirlwind, but maybe it would feel good to whirlwind if I were outside, or if I did not have some things that I could destroy here if I start whirlwinding this. But I have a TV right there. I'm afraid of doing it. Yep, dangerous. Don't whirlwind inside your apartment. The Royal Guard sword. Amazingly beautiful sword. The question is, should you buy it or not? As always, I will tell you that it depends a lot on your passions and your allegiance. right? So this is clearly an alliance sword. You would go for this if you know, if you've been playing the alliance a lot, or if you have some good memories. I will not go into that discussion very deeply. Everyone has chosen their part, like PlayStation versus Xbox, and the word out there is, you know, you're a kid if you hold with the alliance, you're only an adult and proper, you know, man if you're with the Horde. You know what? It's a game, and what you started with has the tendency of becoming the part that you loved. I love the Alliance because that's just where I started as a Night Elf druid, when I started playing, and I was just like moonfiring everything that I could and wrathing all of those spiders in Hearthglen, was it called? I love this sword and how this feels. It does set you back quite a lot. I think it costs like 300 plus. It's more than 300 euros for this one. In Europe, it's extremely difficult to find. It's extremely difficult to find. I've tried to import it from Canada, and then the seller wouldn't send it overseas because, you know, swords and weapons maybe have some special rules for importing, and this is extremely difficult to find in Europe. I was extremely lucky to find it. So I will keep it. I will definitely keep this one. Final thoughts about this. Not necessarily the sword, but as I said in every single review of these replicas, this is my first attempt at YouTube, and I'm trying to do this right. I don't know if I'm doing it right or wrong. I'm trying the best I can, and I hope you get some value out of this. Let me know in the comments below. Is there something else you would like added to the video reviews that I make on this? Is there something that you're maybe not that interested and I should cut it? Should I make these videos shorter format so it keeps you more captivated in this? Or are you enjoying this long format with lore, with some details, and me just goofing around in the apartment here trying to whirlwind with the Royal Guard sword? Let me know in the comments below. I'll try to answer every single one of them, and I appreciate your time spent on being on this channel. With that said, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video where I'll do some reviews. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.